Bismillah, alhamdulillah, thumma salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. The hadith we have today, inshallah, will be if you really believe in Allah and hereafter. If you really believe in Allah and hereafter, what should you do? According to the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, the Prophet Muhammad alayhi an Abi Hurairata radiyallahu anhu, أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم جاره، ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم ضيفه، ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت. رواه Bukhari wa Muslim. This hadith was narrated by Bukhari and the Muslim. The Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam says, whoever, according to Abu Hurairah, he said the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam says, whoever believes in Allah and hereafter, you believe in Allah and you believe the day of the judgment will come, then you must be, or you should be generous. You should be generous to your neighbor. Alaykum jarahu. Whoever, see, he said again, continue, whoever believe in Allah and hereafter, you believe in Allah and you also believe there will be a day of judgment, you should be generous to your neighbors. You should be generous to your guests. Sorry, the second one is just, you should be generous to your guests. The Prophet continued again. He said, whoever believe in Allah and you believe in day hereafter, day of the judgment, you should say a good thing or you remain silent. You must say a good thing, or if you don't have a good thing to say, then you remain silent. This is very important hadith. We learn from the Prophet Muhammad three major lessons that we learn from the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam in this hadith. There are many reasons, or there are many moral lessons a man can learn from this hadith. There are many moral lessons someone can learn from this hadith. But we summarize and mention a major three major lessons. One of the major lessons we learn that Islam is very important. The neighborhood is very, very important in Islam. Neighborhood is very, very important in Islam. Someone have to be very careful about your neighbor. Your neighbor, you have three different neighbors. There's a neighbor which you have a three responsibility or three major rule for you to consider well. The neighbor which you share the same blood, like he's your relative, and your neighbor which you share with the same religious, he is the Muslims as you. A neighbor also whom you are a person who also you are sharing the same, like the same area, he is your neighbor. So the neighborhood right is there, the Islamic right is there, and then also blood right is there. The responsibility is there. You have to consider all these three major things for that person to you, for that of your neighbor. So you have to be careful, very, very careful of his property, his wives, his family member. You have to be careful what you are going to say, what you're going to deal, how you act, deal with him. You are going to be very, very careful, because God will judge you all these three things. Have you fulfilled the blood relationship? And he asks you to tie it seriously, to make sure you do not bring problem. Islamic also brotherhood is there. Islamic brotherhood is there. And then the relative neighborhood brotherhood also is there. So that neighbor, and the second one whom you share, you are not related in blood, but you share the same Islamic brotherhood is there. A neighborhood brotherhood is there. So these two, right, you have to consider them. The third one is your neighbor which you don't share the same blood, you don't share the same religious, but he is your neighbor. Neighborhood brotherhood is there. So you have to consider that one too. The most second ones we learn, the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam says, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyukrim dayfahu." Whoever believes in Allah and the day of the judgment, you must be generous to your guests, the people who come to you. In Islam, there are 3 days you have to be generous to your just 3 days. When someone comes to you, be generous to him, feed him, give him good things for 3 good days. Your guests, you have to be generous to him. You should not send your guests out from the compounds unless he commit a crime, but not welcome the guest. and give them treat them nicely. The Prophet continued, whoever believe in Allah and believe in the day of the judgment, you should say good things or you remain silent. We learn in Islam the kalma, the statement you utter is very important. You have to take very seriously note of the statement, any statement you utter. Because any statement you utter, in the day of the judgment, you will be accountable for it, good or badly. So if you know this word I'm going to say, it will bring the problem, then why didn't you remain silent? Forget about it. That doesn't mean you are coward, or it doesn't mean you are afraid. No, forget about the word, because it will bring the problem. And the problem is very serious. It may you yourself may be affected by that problem. If you know even what you are going to say is true, but it will bring the problem, just remain silent, forget about it. Yes, you are saying the truth, but forget about it. The truth will come, it will bring the problem in this case. Forget about it. Forget about it, don't say it. You always try to say a positive thing. Try to always say a positive thing. Because any negative word you say, you will be encountered for it. Any negative word you say, you will be judged for it in the day of the judgment. They will judge your mouth, and that day your mouth will be sealed. Your mouth will be sealed. So your mouth can't talk. Your hands and your feet will talk. Your mouth will not be talked. So, and then any word you uttered, you will be encountered for it. So you please remain silent. No one will punish you when you remain silent in a certain case. So in this case, if you know the Prophet say, you will not say a good things, but try to remain silent. Try to remain silent. And we remember, we learn from this hadith, we know the day of the judgment will come. The Prophet is emphasizing that the day of the judgment will come, where all our deeds will be judged. Where all our deeds will be judged. Especially what you have done, what you have said. Any statement you utter, it will be judged. Any statement you utter, it will be judged. And remember, this mouth is a very serious organ of human being that will lead majority of the human being to the hellfire. Majority of the human being will go to the hellfire because of their mouth. People don't want to stop lying. It's a major sin. Backbiting is a major sin. Slandering is a major sin. To mix people with your mouth are also a major sin. Shahadatul zur is a major sin. You witness a lie, false witness is a major sin. You are not there, or you are there, but you said something which is not correct, or you aren't there, you are not even there. You try to witness him because he's your relative, he's your friend. Stand for him, or he paid you. That you use your mouth to stand for him. You will be encountered each and single word you uttered. May Allah help all of us. May Allah give us Jannah. May Allah help us to control our organs. Inshallah. Sallallahu ala nabina Muhammad wa sallam.